descent really in the way that it's nice and snaky. I think is the term I would use for it. Something that's always fun to ride, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, descents are, I think I talked about it.
It's the only reason I go uphill, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays for me, really, it's nice to... a nice dry descent, wide, smooth asphalt, and I'm chatting about it the other week with Dan Lloyd when we were commentating on Provence, was it's joyous. Descending on a bike with good grip, at speed, watching the lines, it's a thing of utter joy. And so far, it's a relatively joyful descent for these riders out in front. It's certainly the place to be. Not super technical, but through these towns, Magnus, you definitely want to be in front during the bunch, because as you said, there's some little pinch points here, and these, you don't want to be unduly stressed at this point in the course, especially if you end up a little bit further back. Then you get that tailwind, and the bunch is going to be spread out, and it's going to take a lot more effort to move back, isn't it? So yeah, teams are going to be really eager to make sure they're fully, they're happy with the situation, and that their team leaders, their protected riders, aren't too far away.
And I've got to say, a lot of the time as well in the descents in this particular area especially, is that they quite often run double apexes on them, so that you lean the bike in for a corner and it sort of straightens out and then it nips back at you again, and you're not really expecting it to do so. And you know, quite often we'll see the guys almost sort of double check into the corner and sometimes ending up to grab a handful of brakes when they're not really expecting it. And those are the little moments that, if you're from the sort of 20th wheel backwards, become quite big braking points and big accelerations afterwards, and it's just throwing away energy again, and this game is all about conserving it.
It certainly is. But I tell you who hasn't conserved energy at all, and they're doing quite amazing rides. Three riders on the front. Martin's in third position there, and of course, well, the tractor just behind in second wheel at the moment. These are the three riders, still 118 k's to go now, and from kilometre 30 these three riders have hit the front. It's only one or two other riders that gave any assistance on that climb, but it's still been left to three teams, and the three teams who of course represent the favourites in this race. Julian Alaphilippe from the De Koning Quick Step, Mathieu van der Poel of Alpecin Phoenix, and last year's winner of Wout van Aert. And interestingly, I've got a little text just come through from one of our colleagues, Adam Blythe, and he said that the Capri climb is actually really, really hard just before the Cipressa as well. And he said that a lot of riders will do their job there to kind of soften up before the Cipressa. And it's at that point, for the first time, we'll see the bunch actually start to thin out a little bit, because those three little rollers they run at pace, aren't they? But when you've got 250, 260, 70 k's in the legs, any kind of slight rise in the road at 45 k an hour is going to hurt, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely will do. And to me, Capoberta is really quite a tough climb. I always struggled on that one. And funnily, like you just said, they take an awful lot out of you, and you can get over the Cappies and get down onto the flat and start looking forward to the to the Cipressa, and you're feeling great coming down onto the flat there, and then 1 kilometre you're feeling perfectly good, and the next kilometre legs are completely gone and you've got nothing left in the tank. And that just comes back to the fueling strategy from kilometre zero, and even back to the sort of early morning breakfast, how you fueled throughout the day, and hydrated and all the rest of it. I don't think we can stress enough how important it is that you sit there and just, at no point really should you be riding your bike without food in your mouth.
Yeah, little and often I think is the key, especially in a race of this length, and a race with the sort of kind of slow burn nature and that intensity at the end. You cannot get the kind of hunger knock, or the fungali as is known in Italian. And I remember the first person that uttered that phrase when I was a kid that I was aware of was Greg LeMond, and he said, I got the fungali, and I'm like, what the hell is the fungali? And it's, it's when you blow, it's when you hit the wall in English, or get the bunk. It's a lovely turn of phrase, but it means basically when you're just running on empty, and it's quite an experience when you actually blow on a bike, and I'll try and describe it for you as we look at 8 riders out in front. what I've blown in a race, clearly you've got nothing left in your legs. You can just about ride on the flat if you turn a big gear. You can just roll your legs around. But you actually, I on the couple of occasions I've blown badly, lost periphery vision. So
Yeah.
I saw stars and black and could only see directly in front. And then just felt like I wanted to just eat my body weight in chocolate.
Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, and it's an experience because you almost feel like that you're completely empty. It's like it's just they hung you up on a coat hanger, and that's how you feel on the bike. And yeah, learning to ride through that though is quite an experience as well.
Yeah, you can, especially if you're doing a very, very late. It's generally they're long training rides in the winter, and you can get through them. You just need to eat some food, get some liquids down you, and you can turn around. As we see a couple of riders just taking this opportunity on the descent to get some outer garments off. That's Tonelli, the Italian for Baldiani CSF. Rather deftly removing that leg warmer over the top of the shoe. No need to remove the shoe. Straight into his back pocket. So rather neatly done there, because things ever so slowly now are starting to warm up on this, the 112th Milan San Remo.